when he surf.
It's wave for her.
How's it, people? Once again, those of you who've been paying attention will have noticed that no, the cottage is not behind me. That is because I am still at Surf Camp Lombok in Indonesia. It's still seriously hot here, it's still seriously humid, and I'm still sweating like a... What's that? Oh, ready? Oh, okay. Apparently, I'm not allowed to use my politically incorrect metaphors because it's not suitable for the YouTube viewers. So let's just say I'm sweating a lot, yeah? So I've been thinking this week, obviously, once again, no progress, renovation, building work to show you. So I've been trying to think, how can I add some value? I recently shared a video on Facebook by Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it's like his 5 tips to success or something. 5 rules to success is what it was. Phenomenal guy. I grew up in the 80s and 90s and I just figured here's some meathead who got a lucky break and fell into acting. Is when I got into business, I started watching some of his motivational videos and I was like, wow, this guy has got it going on. Super determined, unbelievable. If you've not seen any of his stuff, look it up. It's phenomenal what he's done with his life. So anyway, that got me thinking. Obviously, I'm not Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm not that successful yet, maybe. So I was thinking, what can I do? What can I give? What can I have value? Then I remembered a few years ago at Blackdown, got asked to do a talk for Somerset Chamber of Commerce, and it was to a group of young entrepreneurs. And for that talk, I based it on entrepreneurship. Now, I broke it down quite simply into passion and determination, the 2 key things you need for, in my view, 2 of the key things you need for business and entrepreneurship, whether it's a building, renovating business, any business really. I quite often get asked by people who are either thinking about setting up a business or have just set up a business or have got a business that's been going for a while. I quite often get asked for advice and input, and I do kind of a little bit of coaching, mentoring stuff, which is great because it helps me learn. So I then got thinking, okay, I'm here surfing. What comparisons are there to the journey of a sport, take for example surfing, and what I'm doing with the house renovation or starting a business? So there's many comparisons. You can compare most sports with most things, but fear was the main one that came up. So with surfing, for me personally, the fears are travel, you know, jumping on an aeroplane, flying the other side of the world, going to stay somewhere where you don't know anyone. For me, that was quite a big one to start off with. Waves, big waves. I love like big waves. It's what I'm about. I'm not particularly skilled. I'm not particularly the greatest surfer, but I just love like big, scary, horrible, gnarly looking waves. With that comes hold unders, which is when the wave takes you down and it will push you right down, and then it will bring you up, and then it will keep you down sometimes. So yeah, I kind of love it, but while it's going on, you're like, whoa, trying to swim out, which is not good. You just need to relax. With house, lots of fears around that. So losing money, failing, kind of losing everything, looking stupid, and I kind of looked at these fears, and the main thing I came up with was conditioning. So I didn't, first time I got on a surfboard, I didn't go out into like overhead, double overhead waves. I started on small ones. And I built up, and as I built up, I got conditioned. I got used to it. With the building project, quite often people who do building work, they come around, they have a look, and like, wow, this is a big undertaking, and I haven't got enough money to do it all, and blah blah blah. But would I do that as a first project? No way, categorically no way. I've only done 2 before, but I've had quite a bit of experience. So for me, it's taking on those fears and building up gradually. It's like they say, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So a big one for me is just doing it. If I'd have never jumped on that first aeroplane, then there's no way I'd be here today. If I hadn't have bought the first house in 2012, then there's no way I'd have the house that I've got now and the project going on. So I think just going for it for me is a big one, regardless of the fear. Fears are there for a reason, but kind of rationalise it, and yeah, just take on what seems sensible and take smaller stuff on to start off with. Then the other big one, this one's huge for me personally, comparing self with others. Now, I've done quite a few surf camps and stuff. I'm not a natural. I was never any good at sports as a kid. It's only since the age of about 27, 28 I've started doing sports, and I'm pretty right in saying I have to work a lot harder than most people. I'm not naturally balanced, I haven't got natural rhythm. So I quite often see people who come in surfing, whereas I've put months and months, if not years, of effort in. 3 or 4 weeks, they're doing loads better than me. And it gets to you, it gets in your head, and you start saying to yourself, oh, that negative talk will start going on, and if only this, if only that, they're so lucky. Exactly the same happens with business and work. I quite often get people say, oh, it's all right for you, isn't it? Oh, aren't you lucky? Oh, I've mentioned the lucky one before. That drives me absolutely insane. There's an American guy I listen to a lot, podcast called Gary Vee, and he always says, he uses a metaphor, if you want to build the biggest building in town, there's 2 ways of doing it. Number 1 is to tear down everyone else's building so that yours is the biggest. Pretty crappy way, because you don't end up with that big a building. Number 2, this is one I like, is just to do your best, be the best you can be, and make your building the biggest, and just kind of acknowledge other people and what they're doing, but just focus on what you're doing. Never has that been so true as in my business and working life, because it's easy to get caught up in they're doing this, they're doing that. Oh, haven't they got it great? Haven't they got it easy? You don't know what's going on in other people's world. So just do the best you can do. If you can be happy and content with that, you'll find you'll get a lot further. Now, the first point I raised was passion and determination. There's absolutely no way I'd be here slogging my guts out every day surfing if I didn't have that passion and determination. I always used to think surf is like super chilled and cool and easy. It's not, it's hard work. It is mega hard work. Every day you feel like your shoulders and arms are going to fall off, you're getting smashed by waves, you're having a bad day, you're not catching them. But the passion's there. Because when you do get something good happen, that's the reward. And if the reward outweighs the sacrifice or the compromise, then it's worth doing. And it's exactly the same with property renovation. I've never met anyone who's done it and gone, oh yeah, every day was great. Yeah, some days are phenomenal, other days it might be hailing, sleeting, and you've got to jump up on the roof in the wind, rain, sleet, snow, and try and put a bit of felt on it or whatever. It's just crap stuff like that. And if the passion isn't there in the first place, then the determination will never come through. So for me, that applies to everything in life pretty much, be it relationships, be it work, be it hobbies, be it whatever. If you've got the passion there, then it's worth putting the effort in. Anyway, I hope that was of some benefit. By the time you're watching this, I will probably be at the bottom of a big trench, the cottage in the Blackdown Hills. I hope everyone's had fantastic weekend and all that there. As always, if there's anything I can do to help anyone, please get in touch. Thank you for liking, sharing, contributing, all the bits that you do, and see you soon. Cheers, bye.